Good morning and welcome to today's morning meditation on Tuesday, the 19th of May. We're carrying on looking at Psalm 27. And I thought today we could focus in on Psalm 27, verse 5. But let me just read verses 4 and 5. One thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple. For in the day of trouble he will keep me safe in his dwelling. He will hide me in the shelter of his sacred tent and set me high upon a rock. I guess for many of us, well, probably all of us, the world doesn't feel a particularly safe place at the moment. I think for many of us, particularly our society and our culture, it's been quite a shock to be confronted with the reality that actually we are not in control of the world events. We are not in control of even our community events. We are not in control of the destiny and the direction even of our own lives to a great degree. And that can make us feel unsafe. That can make us feel unstable and vulnerable. And we see something of that here in Psalm 27. If you were with us yesterday, you remember we thought about how this psalm has an unflinching reality about it. He speaks here in verse 5 of the day of trouble. But along with that unflinching reality is also an unshakable confidence in God. Because as we read on in verse 5 there, he says, "For in the day of trouble, he, that is the Lord, will keep me safe." He will keep me safe. First thing to notice there is, notice that it's in the day of trouble that the Lord will keep me safe. He doesn't keep the psalmist safe by taking him out of the day of trouble, by not letting him come in to a day of trouble. He keeps him safe in the day of trouble. He gives him a place of safety in the midst of an unsafe and uncertain world. You remember when Jesus in John chapter 17 prayed for his disciples. What did he say? He said, "I'm not praying that you will take them out of this world, but that you will protect them from the evil one, that amidst the hardship, amidst the suffering, amidst the day of trouble, you will protect them from the evil one. You will keep them safe in the day of trouble." And in the day of trouble, the psalmist has a confidence that God will keep him safe. And where is the one safe place that he wants to be? Well, he says it is with God in his temple. That's what we see in verse 4. "One thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple." Why? Why does he want to be with the Lord? Why does he want to gaze upon the Lord's presence? He says, "For in the day of trouble he will keep me safe in his dwelling. He will hide me in the shelter of his sacred tent." He says he wants to be in the temple. He wants to be with God because that is the place of safety, even amidst the day of trouble. And I think that's a pretty remarkable and astounding thing for him to say. Why is that remarkable and astounding? Well, because as I speak for myself, as someone who is sinful, who is impure, who is unholy, to be in the presence of the thrice holy God, the one who is holy, 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 perfectly holy, the one who in the Old Testament people couldn't look at and live, to be in his presence, surely that would be the most dangerous place in the world for someone like me to be. And yet the psalmist says, no, that is the place of safety. And in fact, God encourages us into his presence to find safety and sanctuary. Well, how can that be? Well, of course, we find the answer is in Jesus Christ. In Colossians 3, we hear that our life is hidden with Christ, hidden in Christ when we put our trust in him. Our sin, our impurity, our unholiness is hidden in Christ, taken away in Christ, so that we are welcomed into God's presence as his Son is welcomed in to his presence. We're told in Romans 8 that because of that, because of Christ's justification of us, that nothing can separate us from God's love, neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither things present nor things future. Nothing can separate us from God's love. When we are in Christ, being with God is the safest place that we can be. And we know that in the day of trouble, no matter what happens, whether we live or whether we die, in Christ, God will keep us safe. We are placed on a solid rock. On Christ, this solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. And you see how that can give us great confidence in the day of trouble. Many of us have read Nabil Qureshi's autobiography, Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus, and we saw for him how actually to come to God, to come to Christ, meant running headlong into the day of danger, and yet he found refuge, he found safety. I know friends who've gone onto the mission field into incredibly dangerous places. They have run headlong into the day of trouble, banking their life on the truth of this verse, that in the day of trouble, he will keep me safe, that whether they live or whether they die, no matter what happens in that day of trouble, God will keep them safe in Christ. And that is the place of refuge, of shelter, of safety. And I hope that can give us confidence to live ambitious, courageous lives for Christ, even amidst the day of trouble, knowing that in Christ, he will keep me safe. And as I did yesterday, I want to finish by reading a meditation from Paul Tripp from his book on this verse. Paul Tripp writes, "I am safe, not because I have no trouble, or because I never experience danger. I am safe not because people affirm me, or my plans always work out. I am safe not because I am immune from disease, or free from the potential for poverty. I am safe not because I am protected from disappointment, or separated from this fallen world. I am safe not because I am wise or strong. I am safe not because I deserve comfort or have earned my ease. I am safe not because of money, or power, or position, or intellect, or who I know, or where I live. I am safe because of the glorious mystery of grace. I am safe because of the presence of boundless love. I am safe because of divine mercy, divine wisdom, divine power, and divine grace. I am safe not because I never face danger, but because you are with me in it. You have not given me a ticket out of danger. You have not promised me a life of ease. You have chosen to place me in a fallen world. I am safe because you have given me the one thing, that is the only thing, that will ever keep me safe. You have given me you. I am safe from my evil heart and this shattered world, not because I can escape them both, but because in the middle of temptation and trial, danger and disappointment, sickness and want, you give me everything I need to fight temptation and avoid defeat, and to point others to the safety that can be found only in you. So I will wake up tomorrow and face the anxiety of not knowing, the fear of my own weakness, and the reality of the fall. I will live with faith, courage, perseverance, and hope. And when danger comes, and it will, I will whisper to my weakening heart, Emmanuel is your shelter. You are safe. Well, I hope some of those thoughts and that verse from Psalm 27 can fuel our prayers now and our worship and take us and strengthen us into the rest of the day.